What's up, everybody? Welcome to the K-Pop Kimchi Podcast, your number one podcast for girl groups with the number one fanboys. I'm your host, Justin Turneau, with my co-host, Fog Raw, Brian Limper, in the kitchen. It's Queendom time, Queendom 2 time. We're back with another episode.
And at this
I
time
don't know
next
what
week...
Is this episode 7?
Yes.
Episode 7, lucky number 7.
And
Clap
at this
it
time
up,
next
clap it
week,
up.
we're going to be in a hotel room somewhere.
Yeah. Super fun events planned for next week. It's our, we're just calling it the Discord get-together.
Kinda, yeah.
We're in KCON in Chicago. It's next week, Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
We are going to be watching. It's weird. It's weird that it's already here. Like a week from now, we're going to be like watching
we're going to be
K-pop groups.
This is the exact same time as normal because it probably gets over 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we gotta go to KCON. I don't know where we're staying, but we're going to go there, eat something, and watch Queendom. And record our episode like we do every Friday because we are dedicated to the grind and to the fans.
And also next week's episode is going to be spicy.
It's going to be a good one.
Hopefully. Based off the little prologue teaser thing we saw 4 times.
Really confusing, but confusing but spicy at the same time.
Yeah,
which they showed us at the very beginning of the episode. And, like, at the end. It was, like, the same.
Yeah, if you're, like, going to watch episode 7, literally just, like, skip through the first 20 minutes and you'll be fine.
I don't know why they showed... That made it really weird to show it at the beginning when we didn't even get through this yet. There's a lot going on. It was confusing editing.
It was very confusing.
And then they had a whole... Like you said, like, there was that. And then they had, like, a whole recap of the show.
Really, you could probably skip the first 30 minutes.
For, like, 10 minutes, they had a whole recap of, like, everything that's happened. And then we got into the actual kind of flow of the episode, but yeah, next week looks very dramatic.
Yeah, it's like, of course they like leave you like little cliffhangers of people crying and being mad and whatever. So we'll see. I feel like,
yeah, I mean they do it every time, so we just like know that it's going to be okay.
Fake news.
It always is like something that's just like, it's like really, I feel like one time they need to actually have it be super real because you always can just call the bullcrap on it usually and you're like, okay. Like at first, the first episode or so, you're like, oh no, what happened? But we're like, we know what happened. It's going to be fine. And it always is. So
pretty much.
We'll see. But
it's
yeah.
Never as it appears.
Next Friday is going to be an interesting one.
It's going to be a long night.
It's going to be a very long night. We will have seen B2B, NMIX.
I think it's NMIX and Gravity.
We're going to see some K-pop groups next Friday.
We'll tell you what Peniel's like in person.
I know that's the number one question you all probably have for us. He is also the host of KCON Chicago, and again, if you were wondering, B2B is performing both days. So get your KCON tickets if they're still available. Probably sold out because of B2B.
Gosh.
So yeah,
a bad lover's paradise.
It's really weird. It doesn't really feel like we're going, but we will be there in a week. Literally a week from now. We will have already seen those groups, and we will be recording Queendom. So
and we'll be getting ready to see B2B a second time.
And we're going to fire up to wake up for another morning of, well, not morning, but another day of B2B.
That's all I want.
Pretty much dream concert in person, let me say. Dream lineup, dream concert, dream team, whatever you want to say.
Honestly.
But
it is crazy that they were at the first thing we saw with Dream Concert 2015, and who would have thought all these years later I'd be seeing him in person.
We're going to be seeing him in person, and then next day is, like you said, B2B. Then we're going to see the big ticket Stacy and 2-1. Is that how you say it?
Is it like T01?
T01?
I or 20? I don't know what it is.
201, 2.
There's a T and a 0 and a 1 in there somewhere.
It's a boy group, so yay the boy groups. They had some pretty cool songs that we checked out.
I was going to say the one song was actually pretty sweet. I forgot what it's called, but it's pretty good.
And I think everyone will do like fun cover stuff, which we know they are, some of the groups. I think they're going to do like fun things to just kind of spice it up. You know what I mean?
We did not get the exciting Korean lineup. That was all the groups that were in Queendom.
Yeah, they got to see Queendom performances, and from the grainy videos we've seen, it looked like they kind of did their first stage songs. At least that's what like Kepler did. So I don't really know what they did, but they got to see everyone perform from Queendom, so that's freaking awesome.
But then again, there's also a difference between driving 20 minutes down the road and traveling across seas.
No one expected that after we saw the announcement.
Sorry, Japan.
Yeah, like I feel bad for them. There's like not that many people go into that, but whatever. It's like, yeah, people are like, oh, we can't have that in America. It's like, no, because they're literally in the country. They can do whatever they want. Like, they can have anybody come perform. They're not going to have everyone come to America. That's just how it is.
But, I mean, you didn't get a terrible lineup.
No, it's cool. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see Stacy. We'll see if NMIX Live can maybe kind of turn my feelings about them. We'll see. But we get to see B2B, and that's really what matters.
That's really what this episode's about.
B2B.
This is a deep dive into B2B.
B2B, we're never doing Queendom again. But before we start with the episode, there was other fun news again this week, as we had another tour announcement for another K-pop group coming to America, and that was Idol.
You know, I'm thinking about it. I don't even know if Brave Girls announced their tour before we did our last episode.
We didn't say it? I thought we did. I don't know.
But Brave Girls is coming. And so is
Idol. So
we'll get to see one of the Queendom groups.
We are going to see Brave Girls live. They are having a pretty solid U.S. tour. They're going to quite a few cities.
And I'm doing everything in my power to be front row for Roland.
That is awesome. Like, talk about just like a dream moment that you never thought you'd have, is seeing Roland live. And we're going to get to.
And then hopefully Idol comes and plays my bag.
And then, I'm sure they will. And then in early August, right? I think that's when it's in August. Idol's going on a tour.
Not as big as the last tour, but
still, as long as they have Chicago, and they're going to Chicago. So I'm pumped for that. That's awesome. I'm ready to go all in on that one, because that's going to be really fun. But yeah, we've had some really good announcements. And we're going to get to see some really good K-pop of groups we really like, so that's always cool. In like a 2-month span, we'll see
a bunch.
We'll see Dreamcatcher, Brave Girls, and Idol, so that's pretty cool.
It's going to be a good time. Sorry, boy groups, you're taking a back seat.
Just how it is, always.
I mean, that's how it should be in the real world.
Ladies first, exactly.
In the real world. But we watched episode 7 today. And it started out, like I said, like a 20-minute
kind of nonsense
review.
It was weird.
Something going on.
It was a review and a preview.
It like showed us a review of what happened, and then because they did like the vocal stages last week.
Yeah.
Then it showed us a preview or a prologue to what's going to happen in like the weeks to come. Then it went back and showed us another review of what happened last week. I don't know. It was like honestly, it was pretty much a waste of 30 minutes at the beginning.
It was like a review of last week, then a preview of the next episode, and then it was like a review of the whole show so far.
Well, I don't even know if that was a preview of the next episode. It's just like a preview of like what's going to happen in the future. It didn't even show like what we don't even know what's happening next week.
Yeah, that was the thing, because they didn't really line it up. They didn't really say like, oh, this is the type of performance we're doing. We just like saw them doing a performance.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on.
So it was like, okay, there you go, I guess.
But that happened. Like I said, that took up a solid 25-30 minutes of the episode. It was only an hour and a half episode, so it really wasn't that long.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like they needed to like fill time, so they just kind of put that together.
But then we got to the revealing of the vocal winners, because I thought they'd actually reveal all of them at the same time at the end of the show. But they actually did vocal winners, because that's where we left off with last week.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who we actually picked last week to win the different ones. But we had number 1 was WJson and Vives. Number 2 was Highland and Brave Girls. Or the number 3 was Luna and Kepler. I know for a fact that's not what we picked.
No, because I know we picked up the WJSN and Vives last. We definitely didn't pick them first. I know that.
I know we were wrong on that one. I mean, like we said before, we're not really big vocal people, ballad people.
Even when they kept showing all the replays and stuff, I'm like, I don't know how someone did better or not better, so I have nothing to really base. Literally, I thought the Luna one was my favorite if I had to guess, and they lost, so there we go.
I know we did say, based off like, well, a lot of them are lies, but based off Highland's reaction, I didn't think they got first place.
Yeah.
So we at least got that right.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess go back and listen to last week's episode if you want to hear our
It's just too hard to guess what those are going to be. Like, it's just, I don't know what people really look for.
And then we had, that's true. And then we had a point system breakdown finally. And it was like first place got 2,500 points. Second place got 1,500, and third place got 500.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that worked. So after they announced the vocal stuff, we got into the dance stuff, which is what we were waiting for.
Yep.
And of course, for each unit, it showed like a little
Your classic practicing.
And for the first time ever in any of these shows we've watched, I think it showed them practicing and like not getting scolded or yelled at by anybody.
Yeah.
For the most part, it was pretty wholesome and clean.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of been the most part on the show overall too. Is like you might think it's going to be like really bad like usual, but it hasn't been.
No one's
maybe
really
because
gotten
everyone's
trouble.
actually like a somewhat veteran, so
Yeah.
or like actually in a group. But no, everything was like they had stuff they had to overcome, but it wasn't too bad. Like Umji had to
Go faster. Learn the dance
better, so it pretty much just said she had to put in extra work.
And it's weird because like didn't even show her, like even though she couldn't do the dances, the teacher like didn't get mad at her or anything.
Yeah, she pretty much was just like...
And then it showed like the other members like coming and like helping her.
Yeah, like Hikaru was like huge in helping her in the dancing.
And then of course, what do you know? We went to the performance and it was flawless.
Yep.
They did Purr.
Great
the most
song.
coveted performance of all time because everyone wanted to do the twerking part in it.
Yep.
And I don't know if maybe they cut it out or we didn't see it, but that was not part of the choreo of the performance.
There really wasn't twerking in it.
We'll have to go watch the actual like full stage version and see if maybe we got cut out of the show.
I do feel like when we watched the show one, I was thinking it today, maybe because the video was skipping, but like along with the cuts of the crowd or the girls watching from like their rooms, it does kind of mess with the flow of like, because then it'll just like repeat the last part of the song before they showed it. So it's kind of sometimes going back and watching the YouTube, like the steady cam or just the whole video is like nice to kind of like feel it from start to finish.
I will say too that I noticed it must be different stuff because when we watched the performance for Luna that they did, when there's like a whole portion there where like Choi had like a whole like singing part. And we were actually watching the video while it's happening in the show. I'm like, did she even like sing or anything?
It was crazy. I thought the same thing. I was like, Choi didn't do anything.
And then we watched the video and just see like a whole thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So they like cut stuff out and
so maybe they cut it out to keep it wholesome for television. I don't know.
But yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, man, Choi is like looking awesome, and she like didn't even get a part. But it was just like the editing they kind of had to do to fill stuff in and all that. But I would recommend go watch the full performance on YouTube just to get the real in-depth feel for it.
But overall, that performance was everything I thought it was going to be. It was sick.
Yeah, Purr was really good.
The song was sick. It gets stuck in your head.
Stuck in my head. It was like English. It was an English song. I think most of it was in English.
All
of it was maybe. I don't know. But it was really addicting. The dance was really good. The girls did really well.
Also, I will just throw out there that Sinbi's completing her trek of winning me over at the end of this show. So she did awesome. That was sick.
It was really good. It wasn't like mind-blowingly good, but it was really good.
I
liked it.
Also realize while we were watching it because they said it. I never really thought about it, I guess. But the three members that were picked to be in there from Kepler were like the three number one seeds from Girls Planet.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it fit. They did really good. And they got picked to be in the unit.
Yeah.
Because it was Xiaoting, Dayan, and Hikaru. So you had number one in Korea, number one in China, number one in Japan.
I forgot that Hikaru was number one from
And then you
Japan.
had Sinbi and Umji from G-Friend.
I've really been impressed with Hikaru. Hikaru's like really talented.
Everybody
actually.
loves Hikaru.
She's just really good.
Like literally everybody
She's
loves
like a
Hikaru.
really good dancer, and I don't remember... I mean, I remember her being really good on Girls Planet, but just like... I've been really impressed with her just like actual just like dancing. I was like, wow, she's just really talented at like everything.
Yeah, she can rap, she can sing.
She's really she's good.
Perform.
She's a really good idol. But yeah, their performance was really good. It was cool. I got really nothing to... I don't know. Maybe they could have given a little more, but I don't know. Sometimes performances are really good, and they're not always the best one to you, but that's okay.
True. So that will happen. Then the second group was Exit, and they were performing Kaboom, and that was Hyland and WJSN, which apparently, even though they're from the same company for many, many years, this was the first time they've ever collaborated or talked to each other. I don't know. I don't understand how that's impossible.
Yeah, it just didn't really make sense that because they made it seem like that, but how would they not have like had any run-ins at all in the company building? I don't know.
Yeah,
like, at all. So that's just what they made it seem like. And apparently Highland hadn't been there for like 5-6 years or something like that.
Which is crazy that she's been gone that long, honestly.
It's been a while.
Because when we got into K-pop, Sistar was like just disbanding. So they were technically still a group when we...
I think about that randomly. Not just like Sistar, but other things of like groups maybe being done or being around a long time. Like, man, we've been fans for a while now. Because I remember when we got into it. And like, that's been like years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say.
K-pop moves so fast. Like, it's so different than when we got into it.
I was going to say, if she's been gone for that long, then we've been watching for a while. Because they were still a group when we got into K-pop. They weren't like an active promoting group, but they were still a group. They weren't disbanded yet. Because I remember when they got disbanded.
Yeah, I think they like just were getting like at the end. It was like the very end.
I think we have an episode somewhere where we talk about how they got disbanded. We're like, oh, that sucks, but we weren't really like super big on them because
it wasn't like sad.
We weren't like into them like that when they disbanded, but they definitely were a group.
We're like, we probably would have liked them if we got into K-pop earlier, but a little too late, even though they have cool songs. So
it's kind of crazy, but yeah. So they showed them performing, and their whole thing that they had is more like wholesome stuff, like, oh, we've been wanting to work with you forever, blah blah blah. This is an honor. Let's go do our best.
Yeah.
And pretty much with that whole thing, they pretty much just followed what Highland told them to do.
Yeah.
She's like, I got this idea. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be villains. We're going to have ski masks. We're going to be badasses. And this is what's going to happen. They're like, okay, you're a leader. Let's do this.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just an honor to be here.
It's pretty much just like about Yunxia and Yoram kind of being able to
do something with her.
Take that concept and like do it, because they like emphasize how WJSN usually doesn't do that type of like concept, and this was about them being like, oh, we've never really done it, we have to kind of learn how, even though they have done things like it before, but they made it seem like they never did. So.
They had like a whole thing where they're like running together, or whatever they're supposed to be doing, like, what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like she's like, oh, we're supposed to look at them and run away or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
I don't think I even saw that in the whole performance.
I don't remember it. That was like the big thing they needed to fix.
They like worked on it.
Just to be like, because they had the little dance coaches in there who had made it or whatever, but they were like, you got to be more fierce and angry and all that
sassy
stuff.
And then I kept working on the same thing over and over and over again, and I don't think I even saw it in their performance. So that maybe that's just
maybe I don't really remember it,
because I thought they were going to like emphasize it, like replay it, because they made such a big deal about it.
Yeah, and like have the show like the coaches are like, oh, they did it.
Yeah,
like, and they looked fierce. I don't remember it either, and it definitely wasn't emphasized. So
that performance was pretty cool. Definitely my least favorite out of all of them.
It really wasn't bad at all. It was good, but I agree. The song was all right. It was kind of just all right. It was good. Really have like no complaints on it. It just wasn't. It was
just kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, it was just like my least favorite one. Kind of like how I had no complaints about the first one, but it's just, it was really good. But I thought Highlands one was definitely kind of my least favorite. And they like look cool and stuff. I don't know. It just is what it is.
And then the last one we had was the Luna Brave Girls one, which everyone was super hyped for. Because that whole concept itself was like super crazy. Like, it was like dark and girl crush. I don't know. It was
awesome. Like dark and mature and had a lot going on.
And that, I'm trying to find out what that song is. I don't remember what it was. Tamina?
Tamina. That's what it looked like.
And that's when they had like that Monica lady who's like apparently a really famous dance teacher, choreographer coming to work with them. And she was like, they were like super scared that she was gonna like scold them again because they like were getting yelled at.
Yeah.
When they are not really yelled at, but getting like pretty much like, yo, work harder. You need to try and like care and all this stuff. They're like, I've never been told this before. Like blah blah blah. This is difficult. And then, she showed up and they showed her what like the little run through of what they like worked on and stuff. She's like, wow, you guys actually practiced and you did really good. Like, I'm impressed.
Yep, she didn't have any bad comments at all.
Not
what
really.
Do you know?
I guess she said a couple of critiques like, oh, you need to be more fierce, you need to like be more like a cat or something. But it didn't wasn't bad. It wasn't like negative. Like she was
no, she's just giving some pointers. Yeah, facial expressions.
And I will say, compared to the other performances, this is more like a performance dancey art piece than it was.
Yeah.
The other songs the other girls performed.
Yeah.
One was like a hip hop type of song. The other one was kind of like a girl crushy, like badass concept. And this is more like a dark, elegant
like a dark,
art piece.
Elegant, sexy. It had a lot going on in a really good way.
But yeah, they did the performance. While we were watching it, so Justin said earlier today that he saw a bunch of spoilers for who finished in what place.
I saw everything. I saw
I did not see, so I didn't know what was going on.
And I mean, thank you to Angie and XE for spoiling the show for me. Thank you. I just saw the post from the Idols Instagrams, and I was like, oh, well, there we go.
So we were watching to see if it's true, but as soon as this performance started, I was like, yeah, it's number one.
Yeah, that one, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. I was like, yep, that spoiler was definitely not faked.
And then it's funny because like it showed like clips of the girls like from the other groups, and they're just like standing with like their mouths open, and then at the end, Yo just like dropped her light sticks on the ground like Nick Cannon in the line, like it's over.
It was a jaw-dropping performance.
You even saw like Yoram and Uncio just like staring at the camera like, yeah, we lost.
It's just been like the classic WJ look on the couch and they look in the camera like, well, we didn't do enough. Like
pretty much.
Oh man, it was really, really good.
That's honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, that's like probably top 1-2 performances I've ever seen in like a performance show.
I think it's been, yeah. I think that was one, after watching it, it like instantly became like an all-time show stage of like any show we've seen.
I did say a long time ago,
which is like hard to do now.
I want to say it was maybe like episode 2 or 3, which was like a month ago now.
Yeah.
That my bar for stages for how good they were going to be on the show.
Yeah.
Was it better than Highland's opening stage when she did Touch My Body? And I think this definitely was.
I think this one
just as good, if not better. Like
yeah.
It was awesome.
It was
everybody killed it.
It was awesome. And I think I like this one just a little more just because it involved more people. But it was.
Yoonji got that precious number 1 win for Brave Girls.
Yeah, and just the feel good story of Brave Girls getting the overall ranking, got them those points. That was always good. But no, this performance was really great. It like gave me goosebumps. I think it like gave everybody goosebumps. It was really good. The girls did great. They worked really hard. I would definitely go. I mean, we already watched it multiple times.
I say even the girls when they're done, like, wow, it was so short. I like want to watch it again. Like,
it was. It seemed. That's what it seemed like. They like finished. I was like, is it over? I want more of that. It was really cool. I mean, I think it's like definitely a stage you'll like remember.
Oh,
after
sick.
Like, and I don't think I don't know. Like the other ones were good, but this one was like great.
There's one part where all the girls are stacked behind Heejin.
One of the coolest things I've ever seen.
And there's like a bass drop, and she like spreads her arms out, and the girls' heads like pop out.
It's like she has like a bunch of heads, and she's like revealing them out. It's honestly
with the bass drop, it's so freaking.
It's like honestly one of the coolest camera shot dance moves I can remember in K-pop, and I'm not even kidding.
It like just is so good and flows so well. With
and
the
like
music.
all their facial expressions and Heejin's like arms and stuff, like it's just. It reminded me of like Doctor Strange when he like made a bunch of them fighting Thanos. So he just like pulled the heads out from behind her. It was so cool. I gotta find the GIF. There's got to be a real high def GIF.
It was up there with when Highland and all of her backup dancers were dancing. It's like a synchronized body swaying.
So cool, so cool. That was such a good choreo move. That was like just perfect with the sound. Like it just like hit at the right moment.
Shout out to Monica. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, that Monica girl was great.
I guess she's not really a girl. I think she's older than me.
Dance professional. Eve had a really cool like solo, kind of the wrap it up at the end. Also, just love the Luna girls a lot, and I'm just happy for Yoonji. But it was great. A+ for them. A+ for them.
First place, like you already said, was Luna and Brave Girls. Second place was Highland and WJ Sin, and the third place was Kepler and Vives.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, the fans didn't necessarily agree with us, but that's okay.
I mean, the only thing I would really switch was I'd put Highland, WJ, below Kepler, and Vives.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say Highland's team was like that much below Kepler, but I would put them third as far as like what I liked.
Did not make it per. So
that song's also just like stuck in my head still, so I think it will be forever.
It's not even that song; it's just that one part.
It's just the chorus part. It's just so funny, but
important note here. For points reasons, I guess. For the first time ever, Highland did not finish in first place. She had double second place finishes, and that was like, still pretty good.
That was like the whole theme of everyone. We're like, Highland didn't win. She's a human. She's not a machine.
Also, Kepler got double last place.
Yep. They didn't do well. They did not do well.
And then Brave Girls pulled out a first place finish and a second place finish. So
they got some very good
that's
points.
going to go far for them.
Yeah, they needed that. Really bad, actually.
In the show.
They needed that. WJSN did well. I mean, really, just because people kind of finished up and down a little bit, besides Kepler, everyone else was pretty much okay.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't like, oh, we're so far behind now.
You did find on Twitter someone that averaged the points out.
Oh, yeah, I had that spoiled, too. Which they didn't even show that in the show, so I was like, oh, sweet.
So, I guess early spoiler for next week, unless they change something. Highland's still in first place. WJSN still in second place. Vives is in third place, which I think they were also in third place before. Brave Girls is now in fourth place.
Big move
Kepler's
for them.
in fifth place, and Luna is in last place. But Luna's only in last place by like 300 points, which is saying a lot because Kepler was there for a whole week that Brave Girls. Kepler was there for a whole week that Luna was not.
I mean, that's just what sucks for Luna is they weren't there a whole week, so they're kind of being hurt by
we even said
the goose egg.
We even said that since Luna's been back, that they've been like killing it.
They've been really
They've
good.
been really good.
They're the best.
So there's no doubt in my mind if they were there for the first one, they'd probably be a top 3 group right now.
Oh, I would definitely agree with that. Just because
If not number 2.
They've done really great. Yep. Probably 2 or 3 for sure. For sure. They've been doing really great. Still in last technically, but hopefully they don't get last next week, even though I don't think they will because of what was teased.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see.
It was very weird, but
also
they also didn't add up the points on the show, so I guess we'll do that next week. I don't know. That was just what someone tweeted out, just with the rankings of what the stages would have done for the teams.
True.
So really, it did hurt Kepler the most, just because they finished last in both. So that's only 1,000 total points.
But that's pretty much the whole show. It was pretty good. The performances were everything I thought they were going to be. The freaking legit Luna Brave Girl stage, one of the best stages I've ever seen in my life. We need to go watch the Kepler Vives stage again to see if they actually get the twerking in there like how we were promised in the
what we wanted, what we signed the contract for.
What we signed up for. Because they even did it in their little evaluation stage.
Yeah, that was what got the people going, throwing trash at the stage.
In shoes. So
was there twerking, so...
It must be somewhere.
I don't know. That stage was good. I mean, Kepler kind of needs some help. I feel like they've kind of needed help the whole time, and then these last performances obviously did not help them.
Yeah.
They didn't get the help they needed because they finished last in both with 2 different groups. So, which, I mean, they were good at both. It's not like it was they clearly messed up here. It's just It's just what the fans voted. So that's what it is.
Yeah, that pretty much does it. All in all, it's a pretty quick episode.
Yeah, especially with all the
you
fluff.
Take out the last 5 minutes
in the beginning, it probably was only about an hour.
It was less than an hour.
Hour 10 minutes, I don't know, but there wasn't a ton going on that was new. But we did get to see performances, and that was what it was all about. So really, the Luna performance with Yoonji made it worth it. So it was good. It was a good episode. It was fun. It's crazy we have 3 left?
Yeah, because there's only 10, right?
There's 10 total, I thought. So, yeah, we have 3 left because that was episode 7. It's crazy it's flying, but it's we're already this far. And then, like you said, though, it's we've been doing it for so long.
And also,
it's already been 7 weeks.
I'm not sure what's going to be next week because it showed the spoilers for that, performance things that they're doing. But also that means they all have to perform in one episode because... There's only 10 episodes, and the last 2 would have to be for their little final stage things for their comebacks.
Yeah, the end of this episode, we didn't get any points rankings, and we didn't get any, hey, this is what we're doing next. So we really have no idea.
Maybe next week's just a really long episode.
Maybe. I don't know. We just got some teasers of some stages and some crying. And
and the best teaser of all time. Bonna's going to be showing up.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking John Cena returning to the WWE to get the fans hyped.
She's coming to save everyone. She's the
secret entrant, whatever it is she's doing.
The secret entrant member for WJSN. Bonna's going to come do whatever stage that they're going to do. So
that's exciting.
That would have been sweet if they never even showed that. And then,
I know.
The day of, they're like, who's at the door? And then she just, runs through.
Why'd they spoil that?
Yeah, that's what I hate about anything with a spoiler or teaser or preview. That would be so great if we're just watching and then Bonna just shows up.
I'd freak out.
That'd be awesome. But yes, Bonna's be there, so that's awesome. I'm excited for that. She'll definitely help. We missed her this whole time, so she needs to be there.
And I'm not really going to read too much into these prologue things because all that's fake news. I mean,
no, we'll just wait and see what happens on the next episode. They didn't even say what's going on, so it's like, well, who cares? We'll just see. They just threw some dramatic stuff in there to get the people going. So,
which is dumb because they showed it twice. They showed at the beginning, they showed at the end.
It was so weird that they showed it at the beginning because we didn't even watch this episode yet. So it's like, what is going on?
So it's like already. In the
really,
future.
it was
so
just.
I guess they already recorded whatever it is they were doing.
Yeah.
So it's not live recorded. I don't
really. Maybe those were the stages for the KCON people. I don't know. It was just confusing, is what it was. It was just confusing. It was like, oh, okay. And now we don't really know where we're headed, but we'll find out next week.
And next week, like I said, it's going to be a long week because we got to do this after we go to KCON, so look forward to that.
We are going to have a lot of K-pop going on next weekend. And we'll break it all down for you. And, of course, we will have Queendom because that's the most important thing. So
message us. Tell us what you think about this episode.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know who had the best performance and who, I don't even know, what you think is going to happen because we have no idea. So, I mean, Highland's kind of still dominating.
Pretty much.
Sort of, so. She looked angry in the teaser, but like you said, that's always crap. So that means she probably just won and was...
leaving.
Felt bad how much she won by.
Pretty much.
Probably just stole the trophy, so. I think that does it.
Yeah, I was going to say, we might have a couple episodes next week, so look forward to that. But,
yeah, we'll probably have to.
Let us know what you think about this episode.
Let us know what you think about Queendom, and let us know if you're going to KCON. Try and find us if you can, and we'll give you a special gift of real money out of my wallet.
Go stand fanatics.
Yeah.
Keep them around.
Go stand groups that need to be stand. But
that's the moral of the story.
That's the moral of the story. Support girl groups and I guess boys too.
And that concludes our deep dive into B2B. Can't wait to see them.
Next week, it's all about you, Peniel. It's your world and we're just living in it.
Pretty much.
I'm JT's Foggerall. We are the K-Pop Kimchi Podcast. We will catch you guys next week. We love you. Peace.
Peace.